It's time we dive back into Steam and look for some of the best free-to-play games. I know you guys like playing games for free, which is why I bring you a lot of those options, whether it's on Steam or on mobile. I got you covered, but let's dive in and start with my number 1 out of the 10. So let's start out with a multiplayer survival MMO PvP style experience. I'm talking about Once Human. Newly released here on Steam. This one has some extremely positive reviews. People are loving the game, and as you can tell, we're looking at something high quality right here. This is not a free-to-play piece of junk. This is a really fun survival game that you could spend a lot of time within. You're gonna have to do the typical survival style things, but you're also gonna be encountering some intense beasts that you have to make sure don't take you down. Really great looking game, a lot of different monstrous style enemies that you will encounter, and probably one of the better new releases, the most AAA looking titles out there that have recently launched here on Steam. Oh man, power's out. Time to pay some bills. Wait a second, I just heard you haven't yet tried playing Raid Shadow Legends. This is one of my favorite mobile games to play right now, so much so that I started another YouTube channel called Echo Raid Shadow Legends, and I play it there every day. Make sure you go subscribe to that channel, link in the description of this video, and I actually want to thank Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring today's video. And what I would love for you guys to do is to play the game alongside of me. Use my QR code up above or my link in the description to download Raid Shadow Legends right now for free, and I'll get you a free Epic Champion Rector Drath, one of the best healer revivers that's going to start out your game in great fashion. In addition to that, I want to invite you to my clan. I have 2 spots available right now, and that is a chance for you to play alongside of me. I am very excited because today I am going to be completing my fragment summon and unlocking a new legendary champion, Brugard. You could do this type of stuff as well, and you could build up your arsenal of champions. Check out all these amazing champions that I have. Built them up, had fun with them, and dominate the arena and campaign and any events that the game has. In addition to that, Raid Shadow Legends always brings us regular opportunities to get new champions, do summons and fusions, and really just build up our teams and enjoy events as they come to the game. You can do all this alongside of me. Again, download the game with my QR code or my link in the description and play Raid Shadow Legends with me today. And of course, follow me on my journey by subscribing to my Echo Raid Shadow Legends YouTube channel. Next up is Starborn Frontier. This is a turn-based strategy game taking place in space. I'm actually putting a review out of this game on the channel in just a few days. It's a very raid turn-based strategy like game, but as I mentioned, you're up in the skies with different ships that you can unlock via a gacha system. It has an auto mechanic, but you could also play it not on auto, with tons of different heroes that you can unlock that are piloting those ships. It's actually a very fun strategy style game that also offers that mechanic that allows you to have that collectability, where you want to unlock all of the different champions, progress through all stages of the game, whether it being some PvP related stuff, some campaign related stuff, or some missions that you encounter on a daily basis so you can unlock new rewards. This one is definitely a nice looking game with some great heroes and champions, and it takes things into space, which is a place that this genre does not go often. So if you're looking for something new, something a little bit different from the norm, this is a good option to check out, and as everything else in the list here today, it's free to download, it's free to play. Use my link in the description of this video to download the game. Yeah, that one's on me. Let me introduce you to Sword of Con Valeria. This is a fantasy-style tactical RPG game that is brought to us in a Japanese turn-based pixel art genre. That's the style we're looking at here, so if you are more of a retro-style gamer, this could be something that you enjoy playing because of that older look. You're going to be doing a lot with your roster of mercenaries that you're going to be taking into these battles, and you're going to be able to customize your squad and use any strategies that you can create on your own to save the nation of Area. This is where everything is taking place in the state of the game. This one has mostly positive reviews. It's a tactical RPG, JRPG game that has that anime look and feel along with that retro vibe. Free to play. Next, we have Ethereal Fracture, which is currently in its demo state over on Steam, and it's a roguelike RPG game that immerses you in a constantly changing universe. As you can see, another retro style, and the way that the combat looks inside of this game reminds me very much of like a Pokemon style combat system that a lot of people really like. This one offers randomly generated dungeons, a bunch of powerful and really difficult enemies to take down, and a bunch of equipment and abilities that you can unlock as you progress. Now we got Spectre Divide, which is right up my alley. First of all, the art style inside of this game, which definitely has that comic book look and feel, reminds me of Borderlands, is right up my alley. I actually love not only the cutscenes, but the actual gameplay look of this game. It's a multiplayer 3v3 tactical shooter. This is a really fun one. I love being able to have this type of weapons, many different type of weapons, all ranged, of course, that you're going to be able to utilize inside of this one. Now, the cool thing about this one is that you're using a duality system, they call it, where you're controlling two different bodies at one time, allowing one of those bodies to engage in an objective while the other one working on a cover system to protect that player. Definitely a different type of combat here, a different system that we haven't really seen used very much before. You got a lot of different weapons that you could choose from and that you could unlock as you go, and of course, gameplay that is just action-packed. I always like 3v3 arena style shooters. None have really come out as being the most powerful and demanding in the space. Maybe Spectre Divide is the one. Let me introduce all of you now to Paladins. This is a hero shooter style game that's free to play, multiplayer, and a first-person shooter. You have 50 different customizable style characters, all from a new IP inside of this game, that are going to be fighting in 5v5 battles. So a little bit different from what we just saw in our previous title. The maps and modes are just so much different as you go through the different ones throughout the stages, and the game really looks and plays extremely well. Super fun, easy to dive into, free to download. Why not? Next up is Predecessor, a game that's built on Unreal Engine 5, telling me right away that the mechanics inside of this game as well, the graphics are going to be absolutely top notch. Now, this game prides itself on having the lore that's been driven by the community, and I love hearing that games take in community feedback and help that mold what the game is actually going to look like. We're looking at a MOBA shooter style game here with, of course, multiplayer elements, and the game currently has 2 million players that are playing for free right now inside of the game, which lets me believe that the community is active and that there's a lot of interaction that you could have from diving inside of this one. As you can see, graphics are on point, and there's tons of different characters that you can unlock, find your favorite, and play with that one every time you dive in. Now, there's always a lot of shooters that we can play, but this is another one called Operation Harsh Door Stomp. All right, it sounds brutal right off the bat. As you can see from the graphics, the game actually looks really good. It's a military first-person shooter style game that is absolutely free to play. It has multiplayer, single-player, co-op modes, and gives you a ton of community-created maps. That's right, because this is some type of a sandbox style game. It's a bunch of different weapons, vehicles, and all of this stuff can be created through the Steam Workshop, which is a unique tool that's built within Steam itself. This is a really fun one that was created by ex-developers of Squad, Red Orchestra, and Insurgency. It tells me that this is going to be a good shooter to play, definitely a fun one worth giving a shot to, and that's why I love this free-to-play element. You can give it a shot, and if you don't like it, you could turn it down and play something else, but it's worth giving a chance to. Now let's take it back to the strategy style games. We've had a lot of action in the last few that I've been recommending, and we have here Warhammer 40,000 called Warforge. This one is a card battler turn-based strategy game. Now, there are a lot of card battlers out there, but at least this one is behind the whole Warhammer IP, which has been proven. We know is going to have a really nice experience for the players and some good graphics and characters that you know and love from the whole realm and IP of Warhammer. This one is a single player. It also has online PvP as well. And of course, there's different battles and brutal, fast-paced skirmishes that you can engage in inside of the game. This is for all you people that are looking for something that's a little bit slower, not a first-person shooter style game, but more something that you use your mind, play the cards, and make the right calls to be victorious against your victors. Did I sell this one to you? Like, is it worth you trying out? I'm personally not a card battler style player. I prefer the action games, but there are a lot of you that like these types of strategy games. This is one that popped up as a newer one that I wanted to take a look at and see if you'd like it. And I think you may. All right, so next we have California Escapades, and this is a farming sim style game. There's a lot of these out there, and I've actually been trying a bunch of them as of late on the channel. I've done a couple of reviews of some of them. This is not one that I did a full video of, and to be honest with you, I would probably recommend some of the others that I played, like Paradise Tycoon, over this one, although this one is within the Steam ecosystem, which could make it easier for you to engage in. It is going to give you those daily tasks that you can engage with so you can get those rewards and further progress your farm, but it's one that I would probably choose a different option. Can I give you another example? So here's an example of one that I liked quite a bit that I did share on the channel. It is not on Steam, but it is called Moonfrost. Go check this one out if you're looking for something that's a little bit more difficult to get into, but definitely a good experience. And I want to share with you Legacy of Defense Prologue, because I love tower defense and defensive style games like that. These are games that you don't even need to have insane graphics to have a lot of fun playing, and as you can see, you have a ton of different arsenals of weapons that you can utilize to be successful here. This one's tower defense, deck building, roguelike strategy game. It does all of those, and it's just a really cute looking IP that it brings in that addictability, has elements that remind me of Plants vs. Zombies, and then that endless shooter style game as well. Definitely a must play, and if you want more that are must plays, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can see my videos that I bring to you every day.